Hey everybody, welcome to the Player's Take, episode 32. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host, the Horde's best hunter, Montrell Rice.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? For those of you who haven't listened before, the Player's Take is our weekly podcast where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and your favorite podcast app of choice. Montrell, how are you doing, man?
All right. Kind of tired. This week's been really draining for the last week and a half. Actually, been really draining for me. But
you aren't kidding. With WoW Classic out now, I feel like I don't have a life anymore.
Yeah.
But let's start like we always do with what we've been playing. Obviously, a lot of WoW Classic, but you've been playing anything else besides that?
Unfortunately, no. I haven't touched anything else.
Okay. Well, I've been playing some Fire Emblem Heroes while I wait for queues every night. So I actually have made some decent progress. I've probably gotten through 3 or 4 chapters since the last podcast.
Okay.
And I'm getting deeper into Golden Deer. And, man, I like their units a lot.
They're like their actual physical units?
Yeah, like
okay.
as units, they're really good.
Yeah,
I didn't recruit any of them in my Black Eagles playthrough. Like all the units I recruited were from Fargus.
Yeah.
And I made mistakes were made. Let me just say that Leone is an absolute destructive force of nature.
Yes.
She is a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Like she is.
What did you train her as?
I turned her into a Pegasus Knight because fuck horses in this game. Seriously.
Really?
Because they're slow. They all have speed penalties. Every single one of the horse classes have speed penalties to their growth rates. You get like -10. And her growth rate for speed is one of the highest in the game. I'm not fucking ruining that just so she can be on a horse. She's a peg knight, boy.
I turned her into like an archer on horseback.
Yeah, I'm gonna make her. Yeah, everybody's suggesting that. F that. She's like, dude. Her as a Pegasus Knight, she just destroys everything. She's one-shotting everything that I fight with her, and she flies. And her defense as a Peg Knight is higher than any Peg Knight I've ever seen. Like she's like rivaling Raphael's defense rating at the same level.
Oh, really?
When he's an armored knight.
Oh, you turn him into an armor knight?
Yeah.
I turn him into like the highest class brawler.
Yeah. Well, his speed's so low already. I just decided to embrace it and go for the armored route. And man, he sucks.
I turned Hilda into, or that's I think it's her name.
Hilda. Yeah.
Yeah. I turned her into an armor knight.
See, I'm going Wyvern Lord with her, man.
Really,
dude? She's so monstrous. Like her strength is out of control. Like it's bigger than the main character's strength, which is impressive.
Yeah. That's kind of why I turned her into a tank, because she can hit hard when she's a tank.
Yeah. And, well, I wanted her speed. I wanted her speed to be good.
Okay.
So I didn't go the armored knight route with her.
That's interesting that you're taking different routes. I like this.
I decided to go in weird places. I took my main character down the Peg Knight route as well because their stat growths are so balanced. It's really good for a Pegasus Knight.
Okay.
So I'm doing that. I'm gonna kind of go between with Leone, Pegasus Knight, and then the Swordmaster route. I really want to accentuate her speed and strength growths, which those two classes really do pretty well.
Okay.
Particularly the Swordmaster route. And then I have Felix, who I am also pushing down the Swordmaster. Well, actually, I'm pushing him down the Warmaster route.
Felix,
the grappler. He's the one. He's the guy obsessed with training. And everything from Fargus.
I thought that's why I turned into a grappler.
Really?
Not the other guy. Who's Raphael? You said Raphael, right?
Yeah, he's the big muscly dude. Yellow hair. Well, no, Felix is from Fargus. He's one of the.
Oh,
Fargus
okay,
characters.
Yeah. I was just like, I didn't have a Felix
because last time I recruited him in my first playthrough, and I made him a Swordmaster, and he was good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, and I kind of went down the Mortal Savant path because they kind of push you that way with him because he has a budding talent in Black Magic or in Reason or whatever. I decided to completely ignore that this time because it didn't really work out last time.
Okay.
And it kind of made him mediocre. And I am pushing hard for Warmaster with him because they get the crit rating and stuff, and his strength and speed are extremely high. Growths, like they're some of the best in the game too.
Okay.
And dude, he is a wrecking machine. He's just like, dude, he's like killing everything with a training sword.
Really?
Straight up.
Damn.
No questions asked. Like he's a beast. He's a beast.
Damn.
Him and Leone are like two of the best characters in the game, in my opinion. They're just extremely good.
Yeah, Leone was really underrated.
What are people doing making her a bow knight? What are you doing out there?
No, I made her a bow knight because her lance skill is
Yeah.
ridiculous and her bowing skills are ridiculous. And if you train her speed up really well, she can miss. Like everyone, not miss, but everyone will miss her while she's on horseback.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sure she's good as a bow knight. I'm sure she's good as anything because she's that good. But
I started off as a cavalry. I didn't go from like bow from archer to.
Yeah, I have not even touched cavalry with her.
Yeah,
I totally have ignored those with her. I am focused on sword, lance, bow, and flying. Those are the.
I turned her into my cavalry unit, and what's the other guy's name? The guy's kind of creepy. He's a gentleman. He's a
Lawrence.
I turned him into a dark knight.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing with him. Problem with him is that his speed growth is actually fairly low. It's at 40, I think, 40% per level. And when you turn him into a cavalry, which I did, it goes down 10 more, so it's at 30.
Yeah.
So it is a little rough with him. I'm going to have to work on his speed probably in some of the other classes that get bonuses to speed. But he is purpose built to be a Dark Knight though.
Yeah.
Like he just excels at magic and lances, which is what that class uses. So I am excited about that for sure. But I will say that these guys are so monstrous that I have killed the Death Knight twice in both the missions that you fight him in the first couple times.
Yeah.
No issue.
Yeah, these guys are fucking OP, man.
Felix one shot the Death Knight.
They're mobile. Like, have you noticed how mobile that they can get across the field really quickly?
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
Well, that's why I made Leone a Pegasus Knight. Dude, I was doing a paralogue with her in the party, and it was one of the ones, it's one where you have to, like, defend a point, like a single point, like a defense point, and a bunch of enemies, like, charge you. And I just put her on one side of the map, and she cleared that whole side by herself. Like, I feel like I'm playing the Radiant games or something like that, because that's how those games were. But yeah, she's a monster, man. Like, she's extremely good.
Well, how do you like them as characters themselves?
Okay. I don't. Marianne, I don't think I've gotten far enough to really know her very well yet.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah, there's been little snippets of a deeper character there, though.
Yeah.
And she's interesting. I think Lawrence is the one I've seen the most from in terms of I've done his paralogue. I've done a lot of supports with him.
He actually gets a lot of character development.
He is interesting because he obviously at first blush he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's just like a noble obsessed a-hole. And Ferdinand was like that too. Lawrence, I don't think he's going to end up developing the same way Ferdinand does. But I will say Lawrence is surprisingly competent.
Yes.
Like
he comes off like he's
like a do nothing.
Yeah.
Almost like he's not worth, but he's actually very competent.
Yeah.
Like he's got the mentality that he wants to earn his position, even though he already has it inherently. He's not.
That's what I got from him
He's not resting on his laurels with that,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Like he really wants to do something with his nobility, as much as he's like kind of a hole where he looks down on the. He like looks down on people who aren't nobles necessarily. Yeah. He has that quality, and that's kind of the unfortunate flaw of his character. But he's interesting. His interactions with the other characters have been fun because I think a lot of people like look at him that way in the game, like a lot of the other characters, and they kind of talk to him, and they're like, "Huh." Interesting.
Yeah,
like
even when you I don't know if you got far enough where you start hearing rumors about him, how he's like flirting with other women and stuff like that. But then when you talk to him, he's like, actually, I was just like trying to be nice.
Yeah. So I mean, he definitely comes off as a person who's self-important, which is kind of like, I don't know. So he's weird. He's complicated. He's got layers. He's got more layers than I thought he did initially. I am intrigued to see how the game goes with him, further into the actual storyline too. But yeah, so I like him. Leone, I actually, she's annoying to me in one respect. I think in the storyline they do her a real disservice in that she is Geralt obsessed.
Oh yeah,
in the storyline,
and it comes from nowhere, in my opinion.
Every single line out of her mouth has Geralt in it.
Yeah,
and she is obsessed with him to a ridiculous degree. And the stupid part is that in her supports, she's actually a really cool character.
Yeah.
Like, the way she acts towards others and the way she treats other people, like, she's very straightforward and, like, willing to help people, though, and wants to help people. Like, she's a good person, but it's just weird that in the story, all she does is talk about Gerald. It's like...
I like her interaction with Claude. It shows how open-minded she is, because Claude is, like, almost the opposite of her. Mm-hmm. And they have a conversation about that as far as like the religion and stuff like that of the world. Yeah, she's like one way, and he's like, I'm the other way. But they're like they come at a standstill where they're like, well, we just accept people who they are, and I wish people would do that. And they go about their business. So
so she's interesting. She's a little polarizing for me for that regard. But trying to think who else. Lysithea. She's a really cool character, but she suffers from a similar problem that Leonie does, where in her supports, they just drill and drill and drill into you that she doesn't want to be treated like a child, and she says this to literally everybody. Like, if anybody even gives a hint of the idea that they're like, oh, you're young, you don't understand, like, you know, she gets super pissed.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of grating after a while. Like, it like, I need to see some growth there, because it's definitely a little irritating with her with that. Who else is there? I'm trying to think who else. Claude himself, his interactions with the other characters and supports are fun, because people don't know what to make of him. And it's really funny to see, like, because there was actually one that was fun with Petra, with him, where she's like, he was like sleeping on the ground, and like she was sleeping in a tree, and she jumps down, and she's like, why are you sleeping on the ground? Like, the tree's like way more safe and comfortable, and he's like, well, I like the ground, blah blah, and she's like, well, try the tree, and he's like, he can't even climb the tree, you know, and she's like, that's weird, you know. But you know, so his interactions with other people are fun. I actually like the rivalry him and Lawrence have.
It's really cool.
Lawrence is really like up his ass, and it's interesting. I like it, actually.
It actually comes to a fruition later on when you get
in the
past
actual
the 5-year
story.
skip.
Okay, that's cool. And then who's the last one? I'm missing. Oh, Raphael. He's kind of a meathead.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really shown anything other than being a meathead, and I don't know. He's just kind of a token character at this point.
He's cool.
He doesn't really have any story significance either. So
I think, but our reason I like him though is even though he's a meathead, he's like super nice to everybody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you did his supports with Ingats.
Oh, Ignatz. Yeah.
Ignatz. Yeah, I don't know why I call them Ingats, but Ignatz. Yeah. You would think they'll be like different, but they're actually like really. Their interactions are very civil with each other, and they kind of help each other out a lot, stuff like that.
Ignatz, he's another one. He's pretty simple.
Yeah, he's a pretty straightforward character.
He's interesting because he does have some. I have some similar qualities to him, where it's like I try to go out of my way not to bother people. I know I know that mentality. So when other people are like, "What the fuck? Why won't you do this and this?" and it's like, well, I don't want to make people go out of their way. Like, you know, nobody understands that. So I get where you're coming from, Ignatz. And then the last one is Hilda.
Now she's interesting to me. I can't put my finger on her at all.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to do anything.
No, see, I mean, obviously the whole point of her is she's pulling the wool over everyone's eyes with the whole, like, oh, God, I can't do anything act. Like, can you do this for me? Blah, blah, blah. And, like, the reality is she's extremely competent.
Yeah.
And she's just, like...
Is she just lazy?
She's just lazy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how she comes off. Like, she's definitely extremely competent. It's just, like, I don't know. She's really funny to me, though. I really like her voice lines in battle, where she like kills somebody and she's like, Hilda. Like, just like, she's so weird. But she's cool though. She's cool in combat. Man, God, she's like
a monster,
fucking destroying everybody. Yeah, man. Like she's similar to Edelgard in terms of her growths.
Okay,
and I think Edelgard's a little bit better, but I mean, Hilda's close enough where it doesn't matter, really. Mm-hmm. So, plus Hilda's not restricted by story stuff with her growth, so you can kind of take her wherever you want. Yeah, and I'm making her a wyvern rider.
Sounds good.
I can't wait. So, all right, so that's otherwise other than that, I've been playing WoW Classic. So, how you been feeling after a week of WoW Classic?
Man, I'm tired. This game's draining me, man.
Look, you are making choices that are making you tired.
Yeah, I am. It's not the game's fault. It's totally my fault.
You guys are psychos.
I haven't had a game push me this far. Like, I haven't had a game push me like this in a while. I think the last game
Were you like into it?
Yeah. The last game I had pushed me like this was maybe Monster Hunter Generations when we were playing it till 1 o'clock in the morning on the Switch.
Yeah, but that wasn't that bad.
It wasn't this bad though.
No, yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while since I've like pushed myself for a game.
There's just something about World of Warcraft that just does this to people.
I don't know what it is.
I'm seeing this all over Reddit where people are like, man, like people are posting like they're level 60 already and they have like 5.5 days of play time. People are doing the math like you've been awake, like you've literally given yourself 4 hours a day to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, dude, like, holy shit. People are going hard.
I think because people have been waiting for a game like this for a while.
Yeah.
You haven't had anything like this. And, I mean, I'm glad it's back, but now I know I'm like, okay, I got to get back to real life now. Like, I have a family, I have a girlfriend, you know, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in a dilemma right now because I'm really into it. I'm really having fun. I like playing with you guys. I'm having a good time with the group we have playing and everything, but these queues are starting to get on my nerves. And Blizzard announced yesterday that they're going to be doing free character transfers off of the high population realms, which is thank God, because I can't deal with these queues, dude. It's like 2 hours every night.
I think we should just, even though we're trying to wait a week, I think we should just as soon as they announce it, just switch to a low population server.
Yeah, one of our friends brought up a good point. The server we're on has a heavy non-English speaking element to it. And honestly, I think we just need to go to a server that is largely U.S.
Yeah.
So yeah, that part of it's been really frustrating for me because I feel like I'm just falling behind constantly because people took last week off and stuff, and it's just like it's annoying. Like I want to play when I want to play.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I don't want to have to like revolve my life around this game to the point where I'm like, you know, downloading apps to remote into my computer to get myself in the queue before I leave work. Like, which I tried and I failed with, and I just don't care enough to really do. Like, I'm just going to accept the queue, but at the same time, it's like, I wish the queue wasn't there, you know?
Yeah, but the queue is indicative of how many people want to play, but like you said, that is the downside of the game. I mean, I don't know. I think they didn't anticipate it being this big.
They didn't.
But they should have known it was going to be this big.
And I think a lot of people keep pointing to the end of the first pay period as a point where, you know, player numbers are going to drop off. But I think people are being way too... They continue to do this where they're like, oh, people aren't going to keep playing. People aren't going to keep playing. Well, guess what? They're still playing right now. They've been playing for a week.
Yeah, because I still want to play another class.
People are freaking obsessed. Yeah. I want to make like 10 alts.
Yeah.
Like I'm into this. You know, like
I want to go back to a warrior class. I actually want to play on the alliance side next on my next character. So I don't know, man. It's weird.
Well, what about the game itself though?
The game itself is awesome. Like I honestly, I see the flaws in the game, but I accept them for what they are because the game was made in fucking 2004.
Yeah.
But I like the way that you level up. I like how it's a grind.
Yeah.
Each level, I finally understood what you were saying about gear and like making gear feel valuable and things of that nature. Even though I played WoW previously, I just really didn't, since I haven't touched a game like that in a while that made gear really accessible or gear really worthwhile.
Yeah.
It was just kind of hard to grasp it. But now with WoW, you feel the difference between level 5 gear and level 7 gear. You feel the difference between not only gear level, but levels in general. Like, you can't just go up and if you're level 16, you can't go up to level 18 enemy without thinking about how to approach it first as your class. Now, some classes you can just face tank it, but I'm a hunter, so obviously I'm very squishy, and my pets, it depends on what kind of pet I have, they may be squishy or not. And if you're another class, like a mage or something like that, then you have to approach the mission
I'm playing a priest, so I have to be very sure I only pull one thing at a time.
Exactly. Because you'll get it.
Otherwise, I'm dead, probably. You know, I'd have to run away. So.
Yeah, so I really like that. And And I don't know. I can't speak too much highly of. I can't speak too down of the gear, because the gear that you get really feels worthwhile. The levels that you get really feel worthwhile is because you're making your own adventure. This game's kind of unforgiving in a sense. Like, it's an old school game in that way, that it's just really unforgiving. And there are no quest markers. Even if you do turn on the Questy app, I turn it on to where I made it to where I only know where my objective's at after I finished it, or after I need to know where it's at. Then I turn on, like, if I look for an hour and I can't find it, I'm like, okay, turn on. Then I know where it's at. But exploring the world, and the world being unforgiving, and if you make one wrong step, you might die somewhere. Mm-hmm. It really makes everything feel worthwhile in the long run. And each class is very unique. It's not just a variation of each other.
They all have different purposes. Yeah. Every one of them is different.
Yeah, they have an identity. Like,
yes.
And I really appreciate that. It's been a while since I played a game where each class has an identity. They not every class has a CC, not every class has a taunt. Mm-hmm. You know, like, it's just a really good fleshed out game. Like, it really went back to roots of, like, MMOs and just RPGs in general. Like, even the RPG mechanics themselves don't feel like an RPG mechanic just to pigeonhole the player or hold the player back so you won't get to the end game content. Like, there's stuff there for each level. Each level you get talent points, and those talent points makes a difference. And when you get a different level, you get different kind of gear. Each level makes it's just a really fun, robust game, and I appreciate it. I appreciate someone putting I appreciate an RPG that's an actual RPG, and the game's built around it.
Okay. For me, it's really refreshing to play this game again, and honestly remember how it's simple. It's really not that complicated of an RPG. This is why it was so successful, because it's accessible because of its simplicity, not because the game's easy. Yeah. And not because the content's fast to complete. It's easy to wrap your head around the game. There's only 5 stats, like 5 main stats, and most classes only utilize 2 or 3 of them. Yep. And that's all you have to care about for most of your leveling experience, is making sure you are getting gear that increases those. You know, later on it gets more complicated towards the end game, where they start layering on, you know, you get crit percent, hit percent, dodge chance, you know, defense, things like that, healing and damage increases on your spells, stuff like that. But early on, it's stamina, spirit, intellect, agility, strength. Those are the stats you care about, and armor, obviously. Yeah. Those are really the only things you need to care about. And it's not more complicated than that for a while, so it's easy to get into the game and wrap your head around the idea that, getting higher level gear is rewarding because it's just better. Straight up. Like, it has more stats. It's not complicated. You don't have to do these, like, intricate calculations to figure out which piece of gear is going to be better for you, you know? Well,
not only that, you don't feel like you're going to out-level the gear in 2 minutes.
Yes.
You know, like, once you get some gear, you buy some gear, you're going to stick with that gear for at least 2 or 3 levels.
More than that, probably.
Yeah, and when I mean 2 or 3 levels, that's not 2 or 3 hours. That's probably, depending on how much you play, a day to a day and a half, you know, or even longer. And
when you run dungeons too, and you start getting blues, like low-level blues will carry you for like 10 levels, dude. Like, they're extremely powerful early on. And that's the level of reward that I'm talking about. It's rewarding to run a dungeon. You know, when you get a piece of gear in a dungeon that you don't have or is better than what you're wearing, it feels good. Yeah. It just inherently feels good. And it's something that I don't understand how they lost this later on.
I think it was that gear score thing that you guys were talking about.
Well, that was later, man. That was like Cataclysm almost, where that really started to become a thing. Like, gear. It was introduced in Wrath. It was item level. Was they started putting item levels on every item, and people would just boil your effectiveness as a player down to what your item level was. You know, and it that created a bad situation. But Vanilla's so, like, fresh and, like, it's like almost naive as a game. Yeah. Like, it's just like it just is what it is. Yeah. You know? Yes, it has flaws. It has many flaws, in fact. Yeah. Like, it has a lot of issues, but the thing is, they're not enough to drag the experience down, because the core game is just so good. You know,
it understands its gameplay loop.
Yes, yes, it does. And adventuring in the game is really rewarding for me. You know, when we get to the point, I'm not super concerned with doing endgame. I really I'm gonna do the 5-mans and the easy dungeons, and I might dabble in raiding if we can manage it.
Yeah,
but I don't really care about doing that stuff for the most part. My concern with playing World of Warcraft is going to be making money and building out my alts and twinking them out and making the leveling experience even more fun than it already is.
Yeah.
You know? That was the thing for vanilla World of Warcraft that really got me addicted was alts. Like, I was making alts and, man, I made a rogue alt, dude. I was able to solo elites that were of my level without any issues. You know, I was able to take on multiple at once because the character was so powerful, you know, at the level they were at. So that's the kind of thing I want to get back into. That's the fun part of vanilla for me. And they started paring that back as the expansions rolled on. And it kind of made the whole game about the end game experience. And that is fun, but that's not the whole game for me. Leveling is extremely important to the experience of vanilla World of Warcraft for me. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's so slow because of the queues. I'm not getting enough time to play.
That's the problem.
It's really frustrating. Yeah,
and I'm really glad they're introducing that player switch thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm level 23, you're level 24, and we should be higher level than we are.
Oh, yeah, we definitely should. As much time as we put in this game, we should be
I should be 30. That's what's so irritating to me, because I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know what quests I should be doing for the most part. I know how to level in this game.
Yeah, and I don't really know that part of the Horde map that well, because like I said, I quested maybe at the top part of Commodore.
Yeah.
Because that's where you start out as a Blood Elves. But I mean, I did a lot of questing, and I know how to make myself a map to quest and everything of that nature. But it just seemed like it's taking me so long, and then have other obligations to do. So I just can't get enough time in. I'm really interested in seeing what Blizzard's gonna do with this.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a lot of other companies are doing the same thing, and this wasn't the first MMORPG to actually go back to its roots.
Yeah.
I don't think you said you never played RuneScape, but RuneScape did this because they have a new version of RuneScape out right now, the current version, and then they have a classic version, which is actually you can play on your phone.
Yeah.
And they saw their subscriber numbers jump up significantly when the classic version came out.
Yeah.
And everyone like RuneScape, that game's unforgiving. And I like how you said earlier today where the game's it has a story and has an environment, and it also has stories that the players can go to, but you can create your own stories or your own sense of community just based around
playing the game. Yeah.
Like how, me and Dennis knew the exact same forest to go to in RuneScape, where I'm like, yeah, if you go into that forest, you're going to fucking die.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with WoW. Like, WoW has that same thing where, we both get frustrated by the same kind of NPCs or something of that nature. Like the fucking bug pit.
The bug quest. Yeah, you guys were doing that, and you guys were all complaining about the stupid swarmers, the Silithid swarmers at the bottom of the Barrens. And I went to do that quest by myself, and I started doing it, and I fought one of them, and I was like, nope, fuck this, abandon. I got better things to do than this quest. So
But yeah, that now if the game was easy, we wouldn't have those stories. We wouldn't have that sense of camaraderie when it comes to stuff like that.
No, none of us would talk about it because
it was easy.
It's mind numbing. It's not. People don't talk about things that are easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody does talk about things that are easy. We talk about things that are difficult and challenging.
Now, this game is accessible. So when I say easy, I'm not trying to gatekeep people. I like, the game's hard. Like the game is super accessible. Like if you want to learn how to play this, there's 60-year-old grandmas playing this game. Like I've seen that on Reddit. Like there are a lot of people who are like over the age of 65 who are not gamers at all, but they're playing this game and they're actually loving it. And the community is helping them through the content and stuff like that. So I say even if you're not a gamer, just give this game a chance. But that was getting away from my original point of classic games coming back, because we've seen Spyro, we've seen Crash, We've seen.
Well, EverQuest did this first.
EverQuest did it. Yeah,
that made that game viable again.
Yeah,
because tons of people played classic EverQuest, and like Jet was super into it for a while because he wanted that experience again. I think it's interesting that people are responding to these games, these like old games being made new or old games being brought back the way they were, because I think these games offer an experience that you can't get now.
Yep.
It's there is no MMO on the market that gives the same experience as classic World of Warcraft.
Yeah, you're right.
Even World of Warcraft itself obviously doesn't give the same experience. Hence why they made this, right?
WoW was the WoW killer.
Yeah. I mean, that's the truth, though. Nothing ever killed WoW except for itself.
Yeah.
And I just think... I think it's one of those things starting to see this trend with a lot of games. Somebody brought up Destiny 2 as a good example, that they are re-applying or re-adding complication into that game, making it more intricate, giving the classes distinct abilities and really giving them different roles now, and you have to play differently. And with this game coming back, and it's just with games like Grim Dawn thriving, that's an indie game made by less than 10 people, and that game is thriving, just selling so many copies, because I just think I think we as gamers have kind of come full circle, where we started with games like World of Warcraft, where it was accessible in that time period. Like it felt like it was an easier version of something like EverQuest. It was an easy MMO compared to the ones relative to the time period. MMOs before World of Warcraft were you couldn't play them by yourself. You couldn't level successfully in those games by yourself. You had to be in a group. You had to do group content. It was the only way to level. And World of Warcraft revolutionized MMOs because it made it easy to do by yourself, but it wasn't easy necessarily. It just, you could do it, it would
take a lot more effort, though.
It was very possible, but it took effort, it took time, right? It still took time. And then over time, more MMOs came out and started trying to emulate World of Warcraft's formula, and they took it to an extreme where eventually we got to a point where MMOs became really shallow games that didn't challenge their players, that leveling was almost like a foregone conclusion.
Yes.
Where they don't make questing hard. And this is an issue I have with many MMOs. Final Fantasy 14 being one of them. I was just about
to say that, yeah.
Like, even like Lord of the Rings Online, and then, there's others that all failed. Rift is one that, comes to mind actually for me, is that these games all failed because they had nothing gripping about them that really drew the player in, right? Like, if the game is easy to play and is easy to level and nothing is worthwhile until you get to the end, you're kind of just wasting people's time, and people realize that and leave. Why am I going to play a game for 80 hours before it actually gets fun? I know sometimes we talk about this with like Monster Hunter, that it takes a few hours for it to get fun, but with an MMO, the time commitment is so large. I want to be having fun the entire time I'm playing. The game requires me to pay $15 a month to play it,
Yeah.
I don't want an experience where I'm only having fun at the end, That's it's like Diablo 3. That leveling experience in that game is an insult to the player because it's pointless. It has no purpose.
Well, with World of Warcraft, right, even though I'm following the storyline is like, there isn't a sense of urgency, I'll say.
There's no looming threat right now.
Exactly.
The stage of time that World of Warcraft Classic takes place in is after Warcraft 3, and there is no active war happening. The Horde and Alliance are kind of at a tenuous peace.
Yeah.
Arthas is in Northrend doing his Scourge thing, not really doing anything actively. The Burning Legion is mostly gone for the most part right now. So it's like there's no active threat in World of Warcraft Classic.
So that's what I like about it, right? So when you're doing that and when you're in the world, you're doing quests, but the quests, they all have their own storylines, but there's no overarching story. There's just your tune, and then that's just the quest that you're doing. Yeah. And you're kind of making your own So it seems realistic when someone else walks up to this other guy, the same guy who gives you a quest, and he probably sends him on the same quest, but you're already doing something else different. But it just seems realistic when you guys go to that same quest and you guys have to take out this mob. Mm-hmm. It just seems like you're all on your own separate journeys. Whereas a game like I'll say the Final Fantasy 14 because I played that game like 5-6 times already. Mm-hmm. You are the main character, right? Your character, your tune is the person that's supposed to save the world, right? And it makes it seem unrealistic when you do jump into a party when 4 other people and they're supposed to save the world too, and it's like, but what? Like, you know, and then you do your your cutscene, and even though like the cutscenes in Final Fantasy 14 are really cool, you don't see your other party there. You're just like, it's just you, and then like the other NPCs.
Definitely takes you out of it.
Yeah, and that's another thing I noticed about Final Fantasy 14 when compared, because I've been doing a lot of comparing and contrasting with Final Fantasy 14 in this game. Like, Final Fantasy 14 is a single player MMO game. Yes. And when I say that, I mean I can do every quest in that game. I don't have to talk to nobody.
Dude.
I can do Dungeon Queue Master. The dungeon queues themselves are separate, literally separate from the world. I mean, you can walk to them and go into a dungeon queue, but it's still...
You can't walk into the dungeon.
You can't walk into
the dungeon from the world, though.
Exactly.
Like, you can go to the place it's at, but you can't actually walk in and do it by yourself.
Exactly.
Like, the only way to do it is through the duty finder.
Exactly. Yeah. And, like I said, the quest structure is... you can say it's the same as WoW, but... Like I say, it's a different type of way they do the stories in for 14 than they do in WoW. Like WoW, I don't have an overarching thing. I don't have to. I gotta get back to my main quest now.
There's no story quest.
Yeah,
there's no quest you constantly have in your quest log that is a story quest. The game is the story.
Exactly. You're making your own story.
Like Final Fantasy 14, I'll take it even a step further than you are. It's not only that you can do everything by yourself, you're supposed to do everything by yourself. The game is designed that way. Jet and I tried to play that game together, and we couldn't do any of the story quests together.
Really?
You had to, yes.
Oh, yeah, you go into your own separate
own instance. Yeah, the game doesn't let you do it as a party. And you can only do the overworld quests as a party. Like, and it's not a fun experience when you're playing co-op, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's really kind of jarring, actually. It's weird. So, as much as I like Final Fantasy 14,
and I do too, I like it a lot.
It's like you said, it's a single player MMO.
Yeah.
There's things you can do in a group, but they're separate from the world. And my other problem with Final Fantasy 14 too is the world in that game. Since there's no PvP in the game, you know, on the world map, there's no sense of danger ever, really. And enemies are, like, the world is like, you know, like, the environments are cool and all, but I just don't feel like
I'm in danger at all.
Well, not only that, it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of things to go. Like, if you... I was giving this example at work today when we were talking about this, is that World of Warcraft will have a cave, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be the same layout as a cave you did 15 levels ago, but it's in a different area of the map. But the cave experience is completely different because of the mobs that are in that cave, the quests that are in that cave. Some of the you'll find things in that cave that aren't in other caves.
Yeah.
You know, like you'll find a quest in there. Like I was saying, like you'll go in and you'll get to the end of it, and there'll be a dead NPC on the ground, and it will have a quest, you know, associated with it that you'll have to do, or it'll have some chests in there or a rare spawn for you to get. Like Final Fantasy 14 doesn't have that stuff really.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like, you walk into a cave and you're doing it just because a quest sent you there.
Yeah.
It's not because there's anything interesting in the cave, you know, and that's kind of my biggest gripe with that game is it just doesn't feel worthwhile to explore that much. And like gathering in that game sucks because I love the way they did it in World of Warcraft because you gather while you're out adventuring, you know? You're leveling your professions while you're out adventuring. In Final Fantasy 14, gathering is a fucking grind in that game. You have to go to a specific location, and there's like 5 mining nodes, and that's it. And you just have to do a rotation around those 5 mining nodes, and that's it. Like, that's... And it's like, it's not a fun way to level professions in that game, you know?
And you know, it's a real shame, too, because I really like the combat in Final Fantasy 14.
I do, too.
I love it. I just wish... Now, I'm not saying every MMO should be faction-based or whatever, like Elder Scrolls or... or WoW, but I really feel like that game lacks that aspect of like PvP danger, right? Like maybe I should be on the Shadowbringer side or whatever. Like there should be a separate land for us, and we have our own separate races and stuff like that. Because and then on top of that, not only that, but the races, in my opinion, really don't matter as well, right?
No, they don't.
Everybody starts out on the trolley.
Completely aesthetic.
Yeah, everyone starts on the trolley. Everyone comes in on the same spot.
Yeah, your class is actually what determines where you start, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not your race, right?
Yeah, and I think that's not immersive, because if I start the same as the little dwarf people are in that world, it's not really immersive. I'm just picking a class now, like, and I think that's cool, but it's like, is this really what I want to do though? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like,
well, there's racial bonuses in classic World of Warcraft that they're asymmetric.
Yes,
they're all different, and there are ones that are objectively better than other ones. But they're all useful though.
Exactly.
In some situation, all of the faction or the racial abilities are useful in some capacity or another. You know, there is definitely a subset of World of Warcraft players that this is the part of WoW that turned me off a lot. That the min-maxing in World of Warcraft is really, I find it to be extremely toxic.
Oh, it is.
I hate it.
I think it's really toxic for every game of that genre.
Yes, because World of Warcraft wasn't designed in a balanced way. Some classes are better than others, and in PvE, let's talk specifically about PvE and raiding. Certain classes are better than others in PvE because Blizzard didn't know how to balance things properly to really like get the classes on par with each other.
Yeah.
And they had this issue for many expansions. This was true in Burning Crusade and Wrath, even to a lesser degree. But in vanilla, it was probably the worst it ever was, though, because there are certain classes in vanilla that are just like bad in raids.
Yeah.
You know, like warlocks are terrible. Like they're not really, you don't really want to bring a warlock on a raid, you know? And it's like, but the thing is, the community feels that way because there's certain damage numbers that people expect out of damage dealers. But the thing to me is, like, I think this gets lost with the min-maxing in World of Warcraft, and I really hope this doesn't happen, but I know it will, is that the thing that matters is that you kill the boss.
Yeah.
Who really cares how fast you're doing it? You know, if it takes you 15 minutes versus 14 minutes, who really gives a shit?
I think you should make a Reddit post about that.
Yeah,
like on like really real talk. Even after the podcast, like I think that should be brought up because I don't want that to happen again. I don't want people to get turned off by.
Dude, we're playing with a couple people who like play that way, though. You know.
Yeah, but they don't really enforce it upon us.
It's gotten borderline though, because they're like, we're already looking at damage meters and like, why aren't you doing like, you know, what the hell is going on, dude? You know, it's like who cares though? Like, if we beat the dungeon, does it really matter? Yeah, you know, it's like that's the kind of stuff that like it gets under my skin, and I hate it's similar to MOBAs, the way people are in MOBAs. And it's something that gets under my skin because you're trying to tell people how to play. You know, and that is not why anyone wants to play a game. You know, like nobody wants to be told how to play a video game. And more power to you, dude. If you want to min max, and I'm a min maxer, I love min maxing in World of Warcraft. Like, trust me, dude. I'm gonna be, when I make a rogue, like I'm gonna be doing my damnedest to being at the top of the damage meter. But I'm not gonna get on anyone else for not being at the top of the damage meter. You know, it's something that has always rubbed me the wrong way about the World of Warcraft community. I really hope this game doesn't go that route. I just know it will, and I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah.
Because why should you exclude a class from content that you can complete with that class? Like, if having that person in the raid doesn't hurt your ability to beat the raid, like obviously they need to be competent. Like, they can't be somebody who's like dying constantly and wasting your healers, you know, attention and things like that. That's like, you want competent players. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you have two equal players on the same playing field, they're equal skill level players, right? People will take a rogue over a warlock. just because of how much damage the Warlock can do versus a Rogue. You know? And yeah, that's true to a certain degree. Obviously, you don't want your whole raid to be Warlocks, but like you can take 2 or 3 of them and everything will be fine. You know?
Yeah, I agree with that. And so I don't like like you said, the min-max. I just don't want us to go into that loop again because I feel like that toxic mentality is what landed us here in the first place.
Yes, that actually it is.
With games not being able to talk to each other, and people not wanting to talk to each other because, if I want to go on a mission, cause that's actually what happened with kind of like with Destiny and its quick cycle, right? Yeah. People are like, "Yo, you got a Gallahorn? No. All right, I'm sorry, bro, but we need like 5 Gallahorns. You don't have one, so I'm sorry, I can't take you right now. I'm gonna go with them or whatever." Yeah. But then on the other flip side of that, you had people who were like, "Well, I'll take you to go get a Gallahorn." But my thing is, what if I want to use a fucking Gallahorn? What if I just want to fucking play the game my way with the special weapon that I have? I'm doing the exact amount of damage. I'm not killing the boss as fast, but I am doing the exact same amount of damage or whatever. That should be what matters. Cause I don't like the damage number charts and everything like that.
I hate damage meters.
That's why I didn't get it.
I absolutely hate it. And I've been debating about actually getting one, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I don't want to be a part of that. Yeah. You know?
I wouldn't say Blizzard to ban it.
They're never going to.
But
they're not going to. It's part of the game.
I feel like the community needs to check itself.
It's on us.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say the thing with the Gallahorn, right? Like that's a good example. Like that's on Bungie for creating a weapon that is that powerful. Yeah. Right. That is necessary to complete content. That's on Bungie, and it's the same with Blizzard, right? Like they could probably, and they probably should do this, is rebalance some of the classes. Yeah, that's when, I know people are going to be against this, but what does it hurt to bring certain classes kind of more on par with some of the other top DPS? Maybe not, obviously. Maybe rogues should be the most highest damage dealing. I mean, they literally don't bring anything to a raid other than their damage.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like warlocks bring some utility, hunters bring some utility, you know, mages even bring some utility. Like, to me, rogues probably should be the highest damage class, but at the same time, the other classes shouldn't be so much lower that no one wants to bring them to anything. Yeah. You know, that's not fair to those players who decide to pick those classes and invest time in those classes. Like, why? Like, so that's kind of my thing, is that I'm not going to punish a player for playing a warlock because Blizzard didn't balance warlocks. You know? Yeah. If we can complete the content with the warlock, we're going to bring the warlock. You know?
Yeah, and that's why I don't think we should also like gatekeep people within our own communities. Like I do see a lot of guilds now, which I am happy. I mean, I know a lot of people were joking about yesterday on the when we were playing, but I do like seeing guilds where I'm like, hey, everyone's welcome. We just play content. We do raid content, but we're not really like super serious about it. Like I like guilds like that. Like if they're not super serious about it, if you got a warlock, yeah, you can join, bro. As long as you know as long as you're a competent player, you can join. Yeah. Like I do like that there are separate communities within those communities, right? There are people who are like super ultra min-maxing, and there are people like I kind of want to do a little bit of both. I'm not like super hardcore, but I do want to do raids, but I'm a warlock or I'm a balanced druid or whatever. Like, yeah, okay, bro, you can still join us. And then there are people who are just like super casual, like I'm just really playing the game just to play. I don't really care about any of that stuff. Yeah. The thing is, that vocal minority of the min-maxing people,
they drive the conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. And we need to shift that. Like, that needs to be shifted.
Because, dude, Elitist Shirks, that website was the worst thing that ever happened in World of Warcraft, in my opinion, because it turned the community into a thing where you go to Elitist Jerks to find out what the best spec is, what the best gear is, what the best setup of talents is, and enchantments, and eventually gems in your gear. You go to them to find out all that information, and people it was at the point where people, like, if you didn't follow what Elitist Jerks said, you're out the raid, you know, regardless of how good you are. You're out the raid. Why? Because you're an idiot. Because you don't follow you don't follow the meta. You know, it's like they don't determine how everybody should play the game. Yeah. You know, and I don't. That is the one thing that is really I've already seen it on online, reading some forums and stuff, and even with the people we play with, I've seen that a little bit kind of creeping in already, and it's like I don't want to see it long term.
Yeah.
And dude, another thing too is like I think people get a little too frustrated with other players, that like they're not, like they don't know how to play their class perfectly yet. Nobody knew how to play their class perfectly at level 20, dude.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, when you're a new player, you're gonna get the things you're gonna get the skills that help you quest, right?
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily know what all the abilities do just by reading the tooltip. You need to
Yeah, 'cause
use it
they're
in
terrible.
action.
They're terrible,
Yeah, you
yeah.
need to use it in action, right? So I think we're a little like, I think we all need to kind of like understand that there's new players that have never played WoW playing this. And they are going to need time to learn this game. It's, as I said, it's not a complicated game, but it is deep. Like the understanding of etiquette and how to run a dungeon and what to do during a poll, like with every specific class, there's a lot to learn there, you know, and I think we need time for that to develop, you know, for those players. And I don't want people to get turned away because they're not like the greatest player out of the gate, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I know how to play because I'm experienced.
Because Blizzard will turn to those examples and see, it's like, see, this is why we did what we did, because of these people.
Yeah.
And maybe it is just that 10% of people, but those 10% of people unfortunately drive the narrative of what the other 90%, the silent majority, I like to call it, say.
Yeah.
And that's true for almost every game. Like the reason why we have balance change and things of that nature on games, like, because I'm pretty sure there are people who play Destiny and Destiny 2 and wonder why these patches are going the way they are. And they don't even think about the patch notes. They just notice like, oh, something's a little bit different. Well, that's because the vocal minority brought these to the developers' attention, and they complained about it, and then, you know, developers did do what they need to do. Now, I'm not saying that this vocal minority is not a needed asset, because they get stuff done.
Of course.
But
they teach people how to play the game, right?
But they also need to be checked. They're not
they do.
Yeah.
They're not the end-all, be-all
exactly
on how to play World of Warcraft. And
exactly.
It's the same, like I was saying with Dota. MOBAs are another good example of this. People get really up your ass if you don't play Dota or League the way they think you should play Dota or League.
Yeah.
And I can't stand it when people start yelling at me in chat about something I'm doing, like some item I bought or something like that, my build order of items. Mute. I'm done. I'm not doing this. Like, play the game. Shut up. Are you 15-0? No, you're not. So don't tell me how to play, okay?
Yeah, and it was actually funny because I was playing a Norms game in League, and I was a support, and I brought the wrong rooms for support. Yeah. And the person in the chat was like, "Hey, man, it's Norms. You can play. You can. This is your chance to test it." I'm like, "Hey, that's a good line."
Oh man!
And everyone in the team was like laughing, but that made that game much more enjoyable because I was really upset that I forgot my rooms.
But they weren't taking it seriously.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. Yeah, dude, no. The thing is, in Dota, I played Norms mostly. I didn't really play ranked, and people would be up your ass in normal. And I'm like, why are you here? If you take this so seriously, go play ranked, dude.
Yes.
That's what ranked is for. That's when you bring the characters you're good with. That's when you play the characters you're good with.
And I also save that mentality, even though it's a toxic mentality. I do save that mentality for ranked because these are people who are like-minded like me. Like, I want to climb.
Yes.
But when I'm in Norms and I see somebody bitching at somebody, I'm like, bro, it's Norms.
Just
chill out.
Down. Yeah.
Chill out, bro. It's Norms.
Yeah.
He went 1-9. Yeah. Oh, is it going to affect your rank, bro? We're in Norms. Chill out, you know?
Yeah, so I mean that the same thing applies to this, what we're talking about with World of Warcraft, and I think we all just need to chill out. It's not the end of the world if somebody, you know, doesn't know their class perfectly.
Yeah.
And also, if their class isn't balanced properly, like, it's fine. We'll still complete the dungeon, guys. It'll be a few minutes slower. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, if we're all good players, we'll complete the dungeon. Trust me.
I just like having fun, man. I like experiencing
exactly.
content.
It is fun. Yeah, dude. Like, you know, like we've already had some fun experiences in dungeons, man. When like when we were running Wailing Caverns and Andy told you to pull it, you just sent your raptor in. That was so hilarious.
Or when I forgot, the meme of our group now is arrows. Do you have any arrows?
Oh, that's right. You came to a dungeon without arrows too. That was that was good. That was good stuff. But see, we're making fun of you though. Like I'm not like really that mad about it.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. Like we got through the dungeon without you having any arrows.
Yeah.
You know? And like that pole, nobody died. It was fine. Like so it's just like fun stuff like that. I think the thing is when you're playing with strangers, it's harder to forgive those things because you're like you don't know the person, so you just kind of think that's how they always play.
Yeah.
It's so I think we just need to be less like judgy about some of that stuff. So okay, you got any other thoughts about classics so far?
No, that's it.
All right, let's get into the rest of the show because man, we've already spent 50 minutes talking about World of Warcraft.
Holy shit!
All right. Fortunately, the news is short this week for the most part. So first story is Telltale Games, which closed down about a year ago.
I've seen this shit everywhere.
Last October. The name Telltale Games was bought by LCG Entertainment, and they bought the rights. Basically, they have the rights to the Batman games and the Wolf Among Us. Those two. They have. I think they have all the rest as well, but those are the two that were specifically mentioned for distribution rights.
Yeah.
So those games, expect those games if they're not already. Expect those games back on storefronts soon. So you'll be able to buy those again. They also said that they do plan on making games in the Telltale style. However, they haven't hired anybody. They've been offering former Telltale employees freelance positions to make these games. They're not making a studio. They're not putting anything together in a big way to make these games. This was extremely weird story to me. It's
weird how they evolved.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I get it. I understand exactly what's going on. They just want to buy the distribution rights because it's probably super cheap for someone that tax bracket
at this point.
Yeah. And they bought it and they want to distribute it and make money off of it. They had no intentions of making a studio and making a video game. I don't think a video game. I don't think
so either.
Yeah, and I think they're only doing this for PR reasons.
Why would you, anyways? Yeah. Like we talked about, dude. We talked about this. I think in one of our first episodes, actually, or. It was one of the first few episodes we did. We talked about Telltale and kind of why they failed. But I remember one of my thoughts was like, what are you getting out of this besides distribution rights? You're not getting technology. You're not getting IP.
Yeah.
You're getting really nothing out of it. So that's kind of what's so head scratching about this is like everybody got all excited that Telltale's back, and it's like Telltale's not back.
They're not, and I'm glad that the story evolved the way it did because at first everyone was like, "Oh, super stoked," and then like Jason Schreier got on it, and then other reporters start saying like, "Hey guys, this is actually not the Telltale you think it is." Like, and the real story came out, and I think the only reason why they put those quote unquote freelance positions out is for PR reasons.
Yep, just to make it look like they're doing something.
Yeah, but they're not. Because if you really had intentions of making a studio, you would hire that talent back without a doubt. Because they're talented people.
Well, much of that talent too is probably they have jobs elsewhere.
Yeah.
At this point, like it's not, you can't even get most of them probably. Also, they lost the rights. Like the rights for the Walking Dead games are with Skybound, the company that makes the comics. So that's out the window, you know. So I think their plan is to just make as much money as they can off of the stuff that they can sell, you know?
Yeah.
And eventually, over time, they will make their money back.
And that's business. I said that the first hour it was tweeted.
Yeah.
No one believed me, but I'm like, this is just a business move to like get distribution rights, put it back on the market.
Yep.
I said that. And then the story came out like, oh, yeah, this is just to do this. And I'm like, told you. Like,
maybe a game will come from this at some point, but I would wager it'd be years from now. I
doubt it.
Like,
I seriously doubt it.
It just feels like it would be years from now if it ever happens at all. So, okay, let's move on. Next story is an exciting one we've been talking about every time we talk about Monster Hunter World Iceborne, which is coming out this week. Capcom listens to the podcast because the first post-launch DLC monster is going to be Rajang, baby.
Yeah.
He's back. Let's celebrate. Man, I'm excited. As much as I'm not playing Iceborne right away because of World of Warcraft and Borderlands 3, when I do, I'm fucking dude. I'm so into this.
Yes,
this is great.
I can't. One thing I'm really excited for is the title update, the Turf Wars. I can't wait to see him like
throat grab a Devil Joe. Yeah,
beat the living shit out of a Devil Joe or something,
my
man.
God,
like,
dude,
it's gonna be so fucking cool.
Iceborne is shaping up to be massive, and
we thought this shit was gonna be small.
What did we say when we said first episode? This was announced before our first episode, and we talked about it in the first episode. What did we say? 10 monsters, 15 monsters.
Yeah,
or something like
10.
Yeah.
We said most of those are gonna be variants, right?
Yeah. And no, dude, no. Like, it's like 20 or 30 monsters. Some new, a lot old.
Yeah,
they're bringing a lot of good ones back, and man, dude, it seems like they're gonna add more after launch, just like they did with the base game.
Yep.
This game is going to become extremely robust as the ultimate versions of prior games.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I'm not really planning on playing it now. I really want to kind of wait for them to add more monsters, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
this is it for Monster Hunter World.
This game's definitely not going anywhere.
Yeah, this
is
G rank.
Yeah.
This is going to be G rank for this game, so there is nothing above that.
Yep.
And given that, I don't feel like a rush to play it,
Yeah.
So I'm excited, but this is going to probably be a next year thing for me. Maybe, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get the itch in like a month or two.
I think by October I'll be playing it.
Yeah, when Rajang comes out, I'm probably gonna be like, man, I want to fight him.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that came out like back to back, man. It's so bad.
Yeah. Oh, dude, no, it's crazy. We'll talk about that more. But yeah, man. So in terms of monsters left that I even want, I mean, they announced Zinogre last week.
Did they announce the Brachiodos?
Yeah, Brachiodos. That was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we're getting Glavenus.
Oh, I forgot about
Tigrex. Yeah, dude, Zinogre last week was awesome too. Like, that was one I knew needed to be in here, and I knew it would be added. But
is Rajang a Wyvern?
No.
So that's like the first monster they have, right? That's not a like lizard dragon type monster, right?
No, Zinogre is another one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Glavenus, I guess, is a wyvern.
Because
Nargacuga is not.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's like a bat monster.
That's like a bat monster, yeah. I would like for them to add some more insect monsters.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm totally content with the monsters I have now.
Kezu, man. I don't think they've announced that.
No,
what I'm hoping is that they haven't announced every monster that's actually going to be in it.
Yeah.
And there's some surprises left that we haven't heard about, because most of the monsters they've announced are kind of A tier or S tier monsters, like high end monsters. Yeah. So I'm really hoping, like I said, I'm hoping they add some more of those lower introductory level monsters, like Lagombi and things like that.
Yeah, I like that little thing.
What's that one? Blagonga, the saber-tooth gorilla thing. So I'm kind of hoping they add more monsters like those too.
I can see it. I'm wanting to add more insects though. I like the Celtis.
Celtis, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I like the spider. I can't think of her name. The Narskella?
Narskulla.
Yeah. I think she'd be like really cool for that.
That monster's really fun too.
Yeah.
And Kezu, of course.
Yeah.
Like I would be really surprised if Kezu's not in here.
Yeah, they should definitely add the Kezu.
Given that is a monster generally in the colder environments, and this expansion completely centers around that. So, yeah, man, I don't know. It's just I want to play it. I need more time. It's like
I just only thing I'm not really pumped about is just going through the goddamn story mode. I'm not really pumped about that.
Well, yeah, but you're only gonna have to do it for one rank, so it's not that bad.
Okay.
It's not like you're going through low rank and high rank again,
Yeah.
Like, we're instantly gonna be in G rank, so it's fine.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, well, that's exciting. We will continue to announce. Like, honestly, when this comes out Friday, we'll probably talk about this at some point. I just want to go through the monster list.
Yeah.
The full monster list and really see what's in there. So, okay. All right. We are recording on Wednesday. The reason is there was a Nintendo Direct today. It was announced literally yesterday.
Yep.
And it happened today. It was 40 minutes. And man, oh man, it was beefy. There was a lot in here.
Was it?
I mean, okay. Well, screw it. Let's go through it. First thing, Overwatch is coming on Switch.
Yep.
October 15th.
Wait, really? I didn't see that part.
That was the first thing they showed.
Okay.
Yeah. October 15th, Overwatch on Switch. This is probably a great game for Switch, frankly. I think this game will be very fun on the go. It's a very frenetic game. I do wonder how it will run, if it will be a little slow or anything like that, or it will... I don't know. So there's that. They showed some more Luigi's Mansion 3, and dude... Did you see this? The footage they showed?
Yeah.
They showed like every floor has a different theme. Like I feel like it's almost like it feels like a 3D platformer at this point. Like,
yeah.
Like you know how like Banjo had different worlds and Mario 64. It kind of feels like that. And dude, I'm so excited about this game. This game looks awesome. I'm like I can't get over the fact of how much Nintendo seems to have knocked this out of the park. You know?
It looks like they're really working on this game. They're not doing what they did last time. And that's the thing I was worried about.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, so that game looks really good. They announced this game called Super Kirby Clash, which is released today. Day of recording, and it's a free to start Kirby game, like co-op Kirby game.
Yeah,
it looked kind of cute, but
all Kirby games are cute.
I know. Yeah, it looked kind of cute, but that was interesting. They gave a release date for Trials of Mana, April 24th, 2020.
That game was fucking good.
Yep. And then this one, Return of Obra Dinn, which this one's interesting. It's like a black and white.
It looked weird.
It takes place on a pirate ship or something like that, and you have to figure out what happened.
Yeah, and it's like you can rewind time.
You can rewind time and like watch events as they unfolded and try to figure out piece together what happened.
Yeah, that looks pretty weird.
One looked cool. That one says fall 2020, so that's like a year from now. The next one is made by Game Freak. Little Town Hero, which was the game that was previously titled just Town.
Yep.
It's coming on October 16, 2019. What did you think of this game? What did it look like?
It looked like
it looks like a JRPG.
Yeah, definitely like a JRPG. It looks like I don't want to say like a major JRPG. I want to say like maybe a small, like this is like one of their small teams made it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to just branch out and do some other stuff. Mm-hmm. And it looks like they're really working with Overtale's creator.
Yeah, Undertale. Undertale's creator did all the music.
Yeah.
That's what they said in the trailer.
So it looks like, this dude has a lot of clout, man.
Dude, that game is
I haven't played the game.
I haven't either, but
that game has a lot of clout.
Everybody that's played it is just like they're obsessed with it.
Because they said it's like Mother. It's almost like another version of Mother.
But it's deeper than that, though. There's like choices you can make in the game.
Yeah.
There's multiple endings.
Okay.
There's a lot going on in that game. So I kind of want to play it at some point, but I don't know. I gotta wrap my head around. I gotta be in the right mood.
Yeah. That's that.
It's just weird.
So it looked cool. It looked different.
It looked obtuse.
Yeah.
It looks weird.
Like if it's $20, I'll buy it.
Yeah, they didn't announce pricing, so
but it looks like it's going to be a small 15-20 hour game, maybe.
Yeah, I would imagine it's small, but the combat looked a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Like the way you fight the monsters, like you use ideas to fight the monster. I'm like, what?
You know how Nintendo is, though. They kind of
what does that mean? What are you talking about?
I like Nintendo Directs,
you
man.
Throw your thoughts at the monster. And you beat them that way, like. And then they walk away peacefully.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're weird. And then they showed some more Link's Awakening footage. I mean, this game is just looking better and better to me every time I see it. It's gonna be a good game. So that's September 20th. Dragon Quest XI S, September 27th. There is going to be a free demo that they're doing, which I think they've announced previously, but you can play, I think you said earlier, 10 hours.
Yep, you can play 10 hours of it.
You can bring that 10 hours into the main game. So it lets you play 10 hours from the beginning of the game, and you can bring your save into the main game if you buy it after playing the demo. So that's pretty cool. I really would love to see more games do that.
You can also do that with the mech game that's coming out.
Daemon X Machina, which was shown later on. More stuff with that was shown on it later on. They're bringing Tokyo Mirage Sessions, FE Encore
Fire Emblem.
to Switch. Fire Emblem, yeah. This was the Persona / Fire Emblem mashup game. that came out on the Wii U, and it was pretty popular, but it got stranded on Wii U, so they're bringing it to Switch. January 17th, 2020 is a date for that. Do you have any interest in this? Did you ever play this?
No.
Yeah, I really couldn't care less.
I can't get past the combat looks cool, but like the corny dancing thing, I
yeah,
can't do that.
It's centered around dancing.
Yeah,
I'm not
really into like the Japanese pop, unfortunately. So I know there's an audience for that, but Japanese J-pop and K-pop, I know there's a huge audience for that. So it'll be good for those fans, but not for me.
They announced Deadly Premonition 2, Blessing in Disguise is coming in 2020, and then the original game came out today.
I didn't know it had a huge fan base because a lot of people were going crazy over this shit.
Yeah, I thought the original game was bad. That's what I remember. Wasn't this a Wii U game?
Yeah.
Wasn't this the one where you could like take pictures?
No, that's Fatal Frame.
Oh, okay.
That's Fatal Frame.
Okay, I'm mixing the games up. Okay. All right. My bad. Sorry. Well, it's a horror game.
Yeah.
Have fun. Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition released today. And Cloud Saves work with Steam.
Yeah, I was trying to convince our coworker to get this game.
This is awesome. There was no indication this was coming. Yeah, there was no indication this was coming. And this game is full co-op. You can play the whole game together.
That's fucking awesome.
This game is. I've been like eyeballing this game on Amazon for $20 on PS4 for like fucking a year, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it because the game is huge.
Yeah.
But dude, on Switch. Man, this is a perfect Switch game. Like, these turn-based games are amazing for the Switch.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad it's coming to the Switch because I can get the chance to try it.
The problem is it's probably $60 on Switch.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to wait until it goes down to really justify it. But, I don't. Hey, you want to play with me? I will play this with you.
I will.
No question.
I'll wait till the price drop, but I'll definitely play with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll figure it out.
By the time we get to it anyway, the price is going to drop.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have time right now.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year-old game. I'm not playing it right now.
Yeah.
But Bethesda announced Doom 64 is coming on November 22nd.
Oh, God. Okay.
Weird.
I'm tired of Bethesda. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go away. Something called Rogue Company is coming in 2020.
Oh, yeah. That's made by the Hi-Res Studios. I think the same people who made Smite.
What kind of game is this? I didn't really pay attention to this.
It looks like a hero shooter.
Oh,
but
okay.
like,
so they're making another multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's a first person. I think it's a first person or a third person shooter.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Okay. They showed some more Pokemon Sword and Shield footage, and I slept through this whole section because it was just. This is
the Pokemon Camp thing looked pretty cool.
The shit they showed, Pokemon Camp. This is why you don't have all your Pokemon in the game. By the way, going back to that conversation, this is why, and people speculated that at the time.
Yeah, you had to make animations for all of them.
Every single one of them. Yep, and they don't have time to do that. So this is why you're not getting all your Pokemon and Pokemans in the game.
This is why the animations suck in battle as well.
I'm gonna be honest. This didn't get me going. The camp feature looked really stupid to me. Like,
bro, it was a lot of people on Twitter. They were like, okay, can we move on to the next game now? Like, I was like that. I'm like, whatever. Can we just move on to the next game?
Like, the game's not even out and we're already over it.
I'm like, bro, we're good. Like, can we just move on now? The game. Okay, the world looks interesting.
Yeah. The game doesn't.
The game. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, man.
The game doesn't. Like, I'm so interested in the world, and the game doesn't. I'm so mad this world. I'm
still going to play it, though.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to wait till the price drop. I'm not buying it on release.
I don't think I will because I don't have time with all the shit coming out soon, but I'll get to this game at some point. Honestly, it's probably going to be one of those things where they're going to have an Ultimate Edition next year. Like with like all the Pokemon in one game, like they usually do, and I'm probably just gonna buy that.
Yeah, I'll probably buy that too.
Like next year, So, yeah. Oh, they showed this weird thing too with like they showed a new Pokemon that has this ability called Gulp Missile, where he shoots a fish at you. It was the weirdest.
No, the weirdest one was the fucking ghost Pokemon
Poltergeist or whatever.
And then he said, "Oh yeah," and he lets if you trust the trainers, they'll let him get a sip. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I can already think of the Rule 34 shit coming from this."
Holy shit!
Just from that one line.
Oh, man. Okay, moving on. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020.
Okay.
Dude, this looks really good.
People were bashing me for that. I'm like, bro, this game looks fucking fun as fuck.
Really fun. This looks like a great party game,
yes.
dude. Oh, man. We need to get... One of us needs to get it, and we need to get people together to play this.
When we have a game night over here, or whatever.
Fuck yeah. I'm down.
Yeah.
Dude, this looks fun as hell.
Yes.
It's like a soccer game. There's badminton.
Yeah, bro.
Tons of shit in this game. So yeah, this looks really, really cool. I've never played one of these, but they seem like they really put some effort into this.
Yeah, I think they put a lot of effort into the last one, but it was like the first of its kind.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as robust as this one looks like, but this one looks cool. And you saw the little retro mode they had too. That shit looks so cool.
That's really cool too. Yeah. Okay. Daemon X Machina, like you mentioned, demo available. Progress will carry over to the main game.
Mecha Boys roll call.
I might check this out actually. Like I might download this and play it.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad all these mech games coming back, man. I hope
we can play co-op. Right?
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Hell yeah, this will be like our mech Monster Hunter.
Yes.
Mech version of Monster Hunter. I'll give it a shot. This game looks cool, man. It looks really interesting. Then they announced Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast, which is a Nintendo 64 game, I believe.
It's also a PC game.
Coming out on September 24th. God damn, it looked bad.
Fuck you. That game looks fucking awesome.
Dude, you look... it looks so loose. Like your character looks so loose.
I don't fucking care. Like, that game was fucking awesome.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
I played it on PC and that shit was fucking cool. It actually came out on the Xbox, but that shit was fucking cool as fuck.
They showed another Witcher 3 trailer October 15th. Includes all DLC.
That game looks bad.
In story editions. Go fuck yourself. Dude, you played The Witcher 3, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No, I said the graphics on the Switch looked bad.
Did you beat it?
No, I didn't beat it.
Okay, I'm a psycho and I platinumed it.
What?
Yeah.
That's like 200 hours.
Yep, it was. Damn, was it worth it? Not sure. But goddamn it, I love this game. I do love this game, man. It's just such a good game. Like,
no, the game is good. It was one of those games like I want to play on the go because it's so fucking long. So I'm going to get it on the Switch.
Good. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what you think. I want to know if it plays well. Does it like play as well as the other versions? Like,
okay.
Is it hurt by being on the Switch to the point where it's not as fun to play? Like that's kind of what I'm curious about. You know,
I'll tell you because I'm going to get it.
Find out. They also announced Assassin's Creed 4, the Assassin's Creed Revel Collection, which is Assassin's Creed 4 and then Assassin's Creed Rogue, coming on December 6th. I mean,
no one cares what we saw. Can you let this franchise die? Either let it die or just bring the more modern games. I know Assassin's Creed 4 is like one of the legendary ones, but like that's the Black Flag one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, that was the first one that had the boat shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, the second one had the boat shit.
Yeah, 3 had the boat shit too, but it was
terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah.
Then they showed Dauntless. It's still supposed to be coming in 2019, free to play. Once it's out on Switch, I might really check this game out.
I did. Like I said, I played the beta. It was really good.
Yeah,
I think this game is more close to Monster Hunter than God Eater will ever be.
You hate that game. Oh my god.
Let's just continue because I don't want to rant about that.
Just Dance 2020 coming on November 5th.
Hey man, you know what? That Just Dance, that shit is pretty fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that shit, but you play with like people who don't play video games. Put Just Dance on.
Yeah.
Get the party started, man. That's a nice game.
Codemasters, September 19th. Farming Simulator 20, December 3rd. Nino
Game
Kuni,
of the year right there.
Nino Kuni, the first one, Wrath of the White Witch on September 20th. NBA 2K20 on September 6th. You can get your microtransaction slot machines on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, for the people who's going to correct this, those are not actually microtransactions. Those are rewards you get. You don't have to pay for the slot machine. Anyway.
Kill me. Please. That trailer is just so shameless.
You see the pachinko machine? He got so excited.
Whoever that guy is, that quote influencer, that guy can go fuck himself, okay? He's a piece of shit. He got his gold LeBron James.
Yeah, I think he took his Instagram down because he got like people were like coming at him.
Fuck him. Fuck him. I'm sorry if you're gonna be so far up a game with microtransactions ass like that you're willing to get on their advertising and pretend that you're excited like that.
I told you, bro. Sports fans don't fucking care, man.
Fuck him. Call of Cthulhu, October 8th. I don't remember what that is. Outer Worlds, it says soon. So I don't know if it's still coming this year or not. Devil May Cry 2, September 19th.
The worst one.
Vampire, October 29th. And then they showed some Tetris 99 DLC. And then they announced that Nintendo Online is getting SNES games.
Now that's a good deal.
And there's 20 of them. And they're good games. So let's go through the full list. Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Stunt Race FX, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Star Fox, F-Zero, Pilot Wings, Kirby's Dream Course, Brawl Brothers, Breath of Fire, Demon's Crest, Joe and Mac 2, Lost in the Tropics, Super EDF, Earth Defense Force, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Puyo Puyo 2, Super Soccer, and Super Tennis.
Good games. All of them. Because that NES game that shit was trash. And it was not for your core audience.
Yeah. Dude, 20 games out of the gate, though, is pretty impressive.
Bro.
I like that.
If they keep doing this, I feel like they're trying to go by generations.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get a fucking game.
Give me the GameCube.
Yeah, man.
Give me Bacon Katos on Switch. Please. Can I just get that game back? Pretty please. Well, no, this is good, though. I mean, I think N64 is an obvious extension, but I'm sure they're going to add to this library over time. They said it's out tomorrow, so this will be out by the time you hear this on Switch. They also showed some Smash stuff. Banjo-Kazooie releasing today, so that'll be out by the time you hear this.
So how did you like that? I know you're like a super hardcore fan. How did you like all the stages and the homages that he paid and everything? So,
dude, I watched the post-direct segment with Sakurai playing the character and showing us his moveset and stuff, and I really love how dedicated they are to really like paying homage to the character and the games they're from. Like, dude, it's fantastic. Like, it's like Banjo-Kazooie. If I play Smash, I'm buying him and I'm gonna kick the shit out of people with him because he looks awesome. Like they made his moveset is moves from his games, and that's really cool. You know, I love that they do that, and the stage is awesome looking. It's the intro level in the first game. You know, it's Spiral Mountain, which is awesome. It just looks great. You know, it looks really, really good. It kind of makes me sad because it looks like it makes me wonder what a Banjo game could be in the modern era. Yeah. But you know, at the same time though, it's cool that he's in Smash because he really belongs there.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad he's in Smash because I think a lot of people will. It's even Sakurai was like, go on Xbox and play it. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I thought that
was really cool. Yeah, they were like, you know, obviously they're a rival platform, but go play Banjo-Kazooie on Xbox. Like, because for real, they're great. It's a great game.
Yeah,
it is.
And I thought that was just really cool. Like, you don't see other developers and people do. First of all, let's talk about Sakurai for a minute. This guy,
I love this guy.
Is a fucking monster.
I love this man.
We thought he was going to take some sleep and get off the streets. This man said the streets need me. I can't sleep, man. The streets is calling me. I gotta make more characters.
This man after Brawl was like, I'm never making another Smash Bros. Game, and then he immediately comes back and makes 2 more. Like, the man is a machine. And he's just...
You can tell he enjoys what he's doing.
Yeah, dude. What a G, too. on the stream, or on the video, he's like, I'm going to be playing both characters with 2 controllers by myself. What a G this guy is. Like...
This man is a legend.
Yeah, for sure, for real, dude. So, no, I was really impressed with that. They also announced Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury is going to be the 4th DLC character.
I'm really excited about that. I love that character.
They also announced that there's going to be another DLC pack of 5 more characters. Well, not 5 more characters.
I'm not excited.
More characters after.
I'm excited about that. I'm just not excited what the community is going to do with that because they're going to rip each other apart, trying to say which character deserves a slot in Super Smash Brothers.
Let's get Rex and Pyra in there.
I was thinking about they're going to get some FE. 3 hearts or 3 hearts.
They might.
3 houses.
3 houses? Yeah, they might. They very well might. Hopefully it's not Byleth because he's He's got no emotion, and
yeah, he's a terrible character.
Just put Edelgard in there.
Yeah,
should be smashing the shit out of people.
Claude's like really popular too.
Claude would be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do like Pokemon Trainer, where you have all three of the main the house leaders. Yeah. You could play all three of them. Yeah, but more characters like this. To me, this makes so much sense for them because this game is. It's Smash Bros. Ultimate in name, but it is that in reality, too.
Yeah.
They're not going to one-up this game anytime soon. So make it a platform for now. Like, just make this the game and keep adding characters to it in stages, you know?
I think, man, to be honest, I think Banjo-Kazooie was the first, like, cross-platform hit.
Yeah.
Well, not the first one, but this is the first time, like, we've seen someone from an actual other console. Like, no games are on this console anymore. It hasn't been on this console for a while.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie. And I feel like this can not just only be a celebration of Nintendo franchises, but games as a whole.
Well, they added... because when they added Cloud was actually the first character
That's
they
right.
added.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII had never been on a Nintendo console. And it actually wasn't on a Nintendo console until well after they added Cloud to Smash Bros. And yeah, I thought the same thing at the time. This game is a mascot fighter for Nintendo, and it turned into a mascot fighter for gaming in general. Yeah. And I think Nintendo is really starting to embrace that. Them going to Microsoft and being like, hey, can we put Banjo-Kazooie in the game? That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought that was going to happen. And here we are. You know, it's happened. Like,
what if they put Master Chief in there?
Dude, it's a real possibility.
Yeah.
And Sony's kind of, to me, is like, I feel like Sony should approach Nintendo and be like, hey.
I think they're still like being arrogant about their little All-Stars thing failing.
Whatever. Get over. This game came out like 8 years ago. Nobody cares. The game was terrible. So, like, yeah, to me, it's like Sony should approach them and be like, hey, we'd like to get a character in there.
Yeah.
Like, is there somebody that you would want from our catalog? You know? I just think this game, it just fits.
Yeah,
you know,
I do too, man.
You can put anybody in here, you know, and it's become, to me, it's like, at this point, it's free advertising for whoever holds the IP.
Exactly.
You know, you're advertising other people's games by putting their characters in here. You know,
how much does it would cost to put your license into that game just to make the character? You know,
yeah.
they're doing the legwork. All you gotta do is give them the free reign to do
it. Exactly. They're making the character. They're making the stages. You don't have to do any work really. Yep. You just need to make sure they do it to your liking.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I really do think like. I think we could be looking at DLC characters for a while for Smash. Like, I think it just makes sense for them to keep making more.
Yeah.
You know, particularly if it makes them money. So, okay, there were two other things. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. There was about 5 minutes of
the most boring
footage.
5 minutes of my life.
I skipped the whole thing. I didn't watch a single second of it because, sorry, I don't care about this game.
Yeah,
but
this game is boring. Like. Bro, if you ask me, why did you put 100 hours that Animal Crossing was on the GameCube? I can't even tell you why. Like, I can't. Like,
I can't. I don't know. I don't know what the point of this game is, but
the characters are interesting. It's just
people like it. So
yeah. Man, hey, more power to them, man.
More power to you guys. All right. Last announcement of the Direct. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is coming in 2020. This is what apparently Monolith Soft has been working on this. This was their announcement. We got a little bit of a tease the day before because one of the people...
That shit looks fucking good as fuck.
One of the people who works for Monolith Soft retweeted the Direct announcement, and whenever they do that, people have been saying that they only do this when Monolith Soft has something to show.
Yeah.
So people felt pretty confident that they were going to show a game. Well, I'm torn here because
yes, me too.
I'm partially extremely disappointed that they didn't announce a new game. But that's coming. I'm sure they're working on it.
Yeah.
I think that obviously this is being made by a smaller team, but this looks like a remake of the original game.
It looks like a full-on remake.
It looks like a new game. Like it looks like a contemporary game now. Like they're redoing the graphics. It looks like.
Yep.
Voice acting looks to be the same though. There's no reason to change that. I mean,
I will play it because I didn't finish it. So.
That voice cast in the original game was phenomenal for the most part. So there's no real reason to change that. But dude, yeah, if you can make this game and port it over and really bring it into the modern day, like aesthetically, this will be a perfect video game, like a perfect JRPG.
Yeah.
Because I think the original game is a perfect JRPG. It just looks really dated and terrible for the most part. But, dude, if you can bring it into the modern day with the looks, man.
I think it's a good idea. I did. Only reason I'm disappointed is it's not the game I wanted. But I'm still going to buy it. Yeah,
you're right. But, I mean, the fact they're doing this one, I mean, I could see them doing X afterwards.
Bro.
Probably just a port.
Yeah.
But, because it doesn't really need to be remade. The game's fine.
Yeah, the game's fine as the way it is.
But I could see them bringing a port. I mean, why not? Why would you leave that one stranded? You know?
Yeah.
And you would bring this one over? Like
they skipped over it, and that's what kind of makes me scared that they're not going to port it over at all, you know? Because they completely skipped over it. They're like, oh, we're just going to remake, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
It's interesting, though. Like, what made them think they wanted to remake this? I guess it's one of those things. It makes me wonder if there's going to be new content. For one, are the things they want to add? Is the game going to be different in any appreciable way? Like, is the game going to play differently?
Well, people already said that it's a land in the background that you never got to go to, but the game, like, according to like everyone else, you were supposed to go there, but it was cut from the game because it was too massive. And they said that game, they saw it in the background, it's fully made in the background. They're like, oh, that's going to be the place you can go to now. So people are already speculating like there's like additional content already because it is a definitive edition of the game.
Yeah, for sure. No, I would expect new content.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what that would be. More story content, more end game content. What would it really look like? And honestly,
first of all, that game was fucking good on the Switch. That and that Tales or the Trials of Mana game.
Yeah.
If they're running at like that 60 frames per second shit, that looks fucking really good on the Switch, man.
It does. Yeah, no, it looked extremely good.
Yeah.
It looked like Mario, dude. Like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looked like to me. It was like extremely impressive. So, dude, to me, that game, Xenoblade Chronicles, the original one, is a really special game. And if they can bring that game forward and do it justice, I mean, it makes me happy because I think it will allow a lot of people who never got to experience it a chance to experience it. This game was really scarce on the Wii. It was hard to find. Eventually it wasn't, but by that point, I don't think a lot of people cared. And then it came out on 3DS, and I don't know how much of an impact that made.
I think that actually drove the sales for the new 3DS, in my opinion, because I bought one for it just for that game.
But I never played it on there. So, but dude, like the Switch has a huge audience. And a lot of people played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I am sure many of them never played this game.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people have it. If you go in the forums, a lot of people say they never played Xenoblade Chronicles. And then a lot of people who played Shulk on Ultimate
Smash,
they never played. They never knew what that character came from. They just liked the character, his lines and shit like that.
I think this could be big. Like I think it could actually sell more than 2 did.
Yeah,
and that would be crazy. But
you think they're going to change the combat, or they're going to keep it the same?
That's the one thing I'm worried about, because I actually think the combat in 1 is very good.
Yeah,
and I really don't want them to touch it for the most part, but I don't think they will. There's no reason to. Why would you?
Yeah,
the game has its own style. Why would you change it? You know, maybe they'll make some tweaks to it and stuff like that, make it a little smoother.
Yeah, it was
cut out some bugs.
It was a little bit rough, but I liked it for the most part.
Yeah. Maybe add some new abilities and things like that. Like I could see them fleshing the game out a little bit more.
Yeah,
like
doing
adding
some
more
things that they
abilities
wanted to do with it, but they couldn't because of the technical limitations.
Yeah, which, dude, that kind of is crazy to me because it makes me think, because the Wii was such a hindrance to this game.
Yeah,
I felt like the idea that they could do everything they wanted to do originally and put it all in here, that's really exciting. So, as much as it's not a new game, like not a new Xenoblade game, at the same time, like, this is the best Xenoblade game, so I'm excited about it no matter what.
Yeah,
you know?
I just wanted my X Chronicles, but I'm still gonna buy this game.
I think you'll get it.
Yeah,
and we're gonna play it, and you're gonna experience how wonderful it is. How far did you get?
Man, I didn't get that far.
Like 20 hours, 15 hours,
probably like 20. I'd say about 20 hours.
Nowhere, dude. Yeah. That's like you've probably gotten to maybe got through like Gar Plains.
I can't even remember the names of the places.
The Bionis leg.
Yeah.
Is that as far as you got? Like, did you get to the forest?
I think so. I got pretty far. But
Or the swamp, actually. The swamp.
Yeah, I got pretty far. I know I went past, like...
Did you get to the beach section?
I got all the way to the part where you fight the guy. He kind of... Like, you're almost like in a warlike setting.
There's plenty of moments like that.
Yeah. I got pretty far, but I can't remember the story to save my life.
Well, you didn't finish it, so...
Yeah, I can't. I want to experience it again, and I want to experience it on the Switch. So, first I gotta finish Chronicles 2, though. But
Indeed. yeah, you kind of put that down because a lot of stuff came out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. It was a good direct overall to me, but it was really focused on 2019, though. There was a few 2020 announcements, but I think they wanted to really like flesh out the rest of the calendar for the year for them. So, and they did that. So. All right, other announcements. Shovel Knight Dig was announced for PS4. This is a collaboration between Yacht Club Games and a company called Nitrome. Basically, Yacht Club they're still working on the final DLC for Shovel Knight. I think it's the King Knight DLC.
yeah,
so they're making this game in conjunction with another company. It's going to be a same kind of game as Shovel Knight, but it's going to be underground rather than kind of above ground. So it looks interesting. There was no date given for it, no time frame really. Shovel Knight is a fantastic platformer. 2D platformer, so
yeah, I do recommend that game.
Yeah, I really do. It's a really, really good game. So I'm sure this will be of a high caliber, I would imagine. I doubt Yacht Club would let a company do this and make a bad game out of it. So,
yeah.
I'm sure it'll be pretty good. But so that was announced. Yooka-Laylee, the sequel game, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, is going to be out on October 8th. So this game is weird because this is a 2.5D platformer rather than a 3D platformer, which the first game was. And it looks interesting. Like, I kind of want to play it almost because I think it's going to be a better game than the original Yooka-Laylee. Like, it kind of looks like it might be better. It's just weird that they went this direction, you know? They kind of went backwards.
Yeah.
Rather than improving on Yooka-Laylee, they decided to just completely go in a different direction with it. So we'll see. I'm sure it's not going to be a full price game. So, all right, next one, Uplay Plus launched today. Actually, launched Monday. Sorry.
Okay.
But so yeah, it's out this week. By the time you hear this, it's already out. It comes with 100 games, obviously all Ubisoft games. This is similar to EA Access. It is a monthly subscription service that gives you access to their library. So if you are interested in that, check it out. You have any interest in this yet?
No, not really.
Not really for Ubisoft, but...
if Capcom did something like this, you
might do it.
Yeah.
Maybe me with I'm the same way with like Square. I'll probably do it with Square Enix. Maybe.
Yeah, they have a good library of games.
They do.
Yeah.
Or if Nintendo did this, I'd be all in. If Nintendo did this,
if Nintendo did this, they would break the market.
I'd be. They have so many good games in their catalog. It's ridiculous.
If Nintendo did this and they included all their games, even the most obscure games, they would break the market.
100%. Yeah. All right, let's move on to new releases for the week. A lot of stuff coming out this week, man. We got Catherine Full Body. This already came out. It's on PS4 only. That, as I've said before, that game is phenomenal, but it looks like they added a lot to it. This is kind of their definitive edition for this game. They added a new character that wasn't in the original game, and it seems like there's a lot more content. So I definitely recommend that game for sure. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, rather, is coming out on Friday. NBA 2K20
trash
as well, and then Gears 5 the Ultimate Edition is coming out this week as well, which
is actually pretty good.
I think is given early access to people.
Yeah, is actually pretty good. So
Final Fantasy 8 Remastered 2 came out. It looks like they really improved it.
They actually redid the graphics for that game.
Yeah, they up-resed it. I guess.
It's actually really good. Like, they did the character models side by side, and they actually redesigned some of the characters. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So a lot of games this week. Anything else like sticking out to you?
Right it was this one game. Actually, you said this week. Never mind. Yeah. So that comes out next week.
I mean, what is it? Mention it. Go for it.
It's called Greedfall.
Oh yeah. I've been hearing about this.
Yeah, and that game actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was gonna be all that. It's only $50.
Okay.
So it's made by like a middleware company.
What is it? It's
like an RPG game.
Okay.
And you're doing role playing, and you have a party with you.
Okay.
It's almost like a Dragon Quest BioWare type game.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people comparing it to Dragon Quest and saying like, "Oh man, this is what BioWare should have done," and things of that nature. I watched some gameplay footage and it looks okay.
Yeah.
So I may give it a chance maybe when it comes on sale Black Friday.
What about Space Cows?
Man, game of the year right there,
or,
bro.
Or Battle of Mahjong.
I don't even know what that is.
Creature in the Well.
Creature in the Well.
Actually, I think I've heard of that one. What about that game? What was that game you were supposed to buy?
Oh shit!
My Little Riding Champion.
Yeah, man. I still gotta buy that.
Come on, Montrell. Man, you let me down, dude. I've been waiting a year to hear your thoughts about that game, man.
I'm telling you, man, it's probably game of the year, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much everything for this episode, I think.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Fair enough. All right. Well, guys, that's going to be it for us this week. If you liked this episode, please like the episode, review the show, rather, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. Please share it with your friends. We would appreciate that. We're still trying to grow the audience. If you'd like to talk to us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I am at Thundernut01. The show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. Next week, I'm sure we're going to talk about WoW Classic some more.
Yeah, probably.
Borderlands comes out. Borderlands comes out next Friday.
Oh yeah, shit does come out.
Borderlands 3. Yeah, man, a lot of stuff coming out. But I'm sure there will be a lot of things that happen between now and then. So we hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we will see you on the next one. All right, bye guys.